Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where we are currently running one of these slightly more sandboxy scenarios, and that sounds absolutely great at this moment. So we need to get our clay online. That is a very, very high priority right now. So this porter yard is currently accepting timber. I would like to see it balance stone and also clay for right now. We're going to be accepting in maize, fruit, and chili as well, because that's going to be coming from these two farmers' huts. These up here, those are going to be primarily producing things that are intended to go into this porter yard. So we should also have this be set to balance stone. And then what else do we want this to have up over this way? Let's see. We already have maguey and cotton buds here. So we could potentially have this be, well, for now we could just leave it open, to be honest. We don't know what we want that to be yet. So that's okay. This river floods very, very extensively. That's good for us, of course. Floodplains are very fertile. I don't think that's the way this game works, but in reality, floodplains are very fertile. So that is excellent. We've got a bunch of work for these guys to do. No doubt about that. Eventually, they'll get there. So this is a dirt road, and this is also a dirt road, but this has not been placed yet. Understood. I'm going to unhalt these sections of road here. It's fine to build the road. I'm not terribly concerned about that. Unhalt this. There you go. Perfect. So that seems fine for now. I'd like to see this actually get pushed up over this direction, but we'll see how long it takes them to do that. We have very few markets. Yes, I'm aware of that. We have markets queued up, but we have to get a source of clay going here. I think we're mostly waiting on timber, to be honest. So we have this common home here. It's got 8 of 8 commoners. And I think we should get another common home going here. We do have this farmer's hut ready to go as well. That's understood. So we have some food coming in at this point, but we have no way to, like, deliver it to people. So there's that. We need to get this initial build-out finished up here. So that pretty much means that we need to get the Sawyers over here online, although where are they supposed to deliver to? I think we should get at least a porter stop, but I'm thinking about a full porter yard down over here approximately, or maybe even all the way up here. No, this was intended to be a farming location. So I think over here. Maybe like here, because that way it can reach a little bit more thoroughly. Sure. So we'll get that going. That is going to accept timber, and we'll probably put more things into that later. But for now, that'll do. Okay, so that seems relatively fine for the moment. Poor nutrition is becoming a problem. Yes, we should actually get this granary going as soon as possible. So that'll happen very quickly here. Because we don't really have anywhere to send this maize field, right? And we should also, what do we need for this market? We do need some stone for that, but that should be fine. Let's get these markets online as well. Because we have to get our food delivered, right? So that seems absolutely okay for the moment. So we've got a dentist here and here. Yeah, that'll definitely do some work out over this way. Cool. So we're sort of working on this large market over here. We're having some trouble getting some work done up over this direction. I would absolutely love to see this actually get done. We have very few masons relative to our population. That is true. We don't have any mason yards at all. So that's absolutely the case. We can put in a mason yard here. And we could also think about putting one up over this direction. I'm wondering if we would eventually be able to put one up here. Maybe. I don't really want to put it here. I'd rather put it up on this side. We might be able to fit it in here. I think it's 3 by 3, isn't it? Yeah, that's definitely a 3x3. So that's not going to fit in here. I would prefer to put it there, but it might be able to go in up here. We do want to get some more chinampas queued up over here. This is not reachable here, but we can absolutely chinampa all of this, which I would like to do, although this should be halted for the moment. We don't want to do it yet. Okay, so that looks good. We're working on clearing the space for this granary. I think a big part of the reason why we're not doing much up here is because of the flood. So once the seasonal flood goes away, I think things will start to move up here a bit more. At least that's the goal. I've noticed that people move a lot slower in the floodwater, which makes sense. So that would probably end up limiting the range that they're willing to go do stuff in, would be my guess. We're short of common workers. Yeah, I'm not terribly surprised about that. We're still needing some work done on these sawyers. It looks like we're lacking clay to get those built. So that is a problem, but we do have this sawyer over here. It's producing timber, so we can at least deliver some timber that way. So that's good. I want this to be on accepts, ideally. I guess this porter yard reaches it. So that's fine. That's interesting. The porter yard has a much longer range than the sawyer does. So this porter yard may not have been strictly speaking necessary, but I still think it's okay. I don't terribly mind it. We're going to need porter yard down here to do stuff over here anyway, so that seems fine. Poor nutrition is becoming a problem. The granary here is absolutely going to be starting to get some food going. And we have this large market done at this point. So we have at least some market service, and that's actually serving all of our houses right now. So that sounds good. We are needing a well dipper, of course. Ah, up here. We finally started this clay pit. That's huge. We really want to get a source of clay online. As long as we can get a source of clay, we'll be good. We don't have very much clay in this porter yard right now. We've got 65 total clay. Are we importing it? No. How did our clay go up? We were at 20. Interesting. We moved it from this trading post to this porter yard, which is, you know, fair enough. But that's definitely interesting. Oh, we're maintaining without... Oh, it was from this mason yard. Right. I was going to say, we're maintaining without a mason yard? No, we have a mason yard. Okay, that is relatively fine. We really do need to get these sawyers over here done. We actually have enough timber to do that now. And we just picked up the clay. And I don't know where it went. Maybe it's going up over this way? To do what, though? We've got this clay pit here. We're currently working on building this clay pit. 12 timber? Okay. The clay pit is online. There's not staff here. And that's understood. So, in order to build these homes, we need clay. So that's going to be a little awkward for us. This porter yard hasn't been built yet. I'm just thinking right now, we really need more workers. So let's get an additional house built here. But that will eat up some of our existing clay. But because we have this clay pit built, should be fine. We should be able to get clay up there eventually. So this is going to end up needing timber, timber, and timber. That's only timber here. So I'm going to allow construction on all of these farms at this point. That will hopefully get us housing up over this direction in order to get this clay pit a bit more online. We just went up to 69 clay again. I'm contractually obligated to say nice about that. But where is it coming from? We were down to 20 clay again, and it went back up. We have this clay pit, but no one's working in it. So we shouldn't be getting any clay. Unless there were still trades on the way. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe there were trades in transit when we turned off the clay import. I don't know. That's a possibility, I suppose. So this farmer's hut is not quite in range of this clay pit. It's going to need to be like this farmer's hut. I'm not seeing a circle for any of those. This should be in range. Okay, so this should be in range up here. That looks good. No problem there. Excellent. Let's get some of this food production online. And at this point, we can see we don't have any food in our granary. I want to check in these markets. Ah, there is maize in this market and in this one as well. So that's probably mostly coming from this maize that we are still set to import, and I'm going to switch that to no trade for the moment. And I don't even want to have maize in here. So let's get that out of there. It can spoil in this trading post. So let's get that out of there, and let's just store the maize in the granary so that we don't have spoilage happening. Excellent. So we just finished up this farmer's hut. Fertility is poor, and irrigation is excessive. This is due to the flooding here. And that's going to be a problem, actually, because this is Megui. Let's remove all of that Megui. Because we know that that wants to be in desert areas. So that should be grown, like, up here. Why do we have people coming up over this way? How do they get down? Oh, there's a path over here. Okay. Well, I think that we should probably have a way up over this way. Kind of like that. But that is going to require some clay and timber for getting that done. But one of these guys is applying for work at the clay pit, and that's fantastic. We would love to get that going. So if we check here, the irrigation is poor here. And I'm guessing that's because the flood kind of terminates around here. So no crops, irrigation not needed. Excellent. So I'm going to make this be food production, and this is going to end up being cotton up here for sure. I don't think we're going to need more than a couple of cotton farms, at least for now. But this farm I'm going to want to put up somewhere else. So we can have like a Megui district out over here somewhere, where the idea would be that we have like road that goes kind of like this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. And then it would come out like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. And then we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's awkward. It would have to be like this. And the entire purpose of this would be... yeah, right here. The entire purpose of this would be that we would want this to be just a small area, and this would basically supply all that we would need. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this would be entirely Megui up here. So we can just have that come in like... can we just do this? Oh yeah, we can definitely do that. I don't really want this to be built right now, though. This is not a high priority. We'll come back to that later. This can be built. That's fine. But this is probably more than enough Megui, and there's so much expansion room up over here. So that'll be perfect. Irrigation not needed. Fertility of none. We'll see if that's actually true. But we know that Megui likes arid terrain. So that looks good for now. Now, I do want to get these Megui beds out of here. That would be ideal. So we can get this reconstituted, shall we say. I think that I'm going to have this be food up this direction for now. And irrigation is going to be not great yet until we get these canals dug. Okay, now we can set up some food here. So that's going to be about like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Perfect. And then that would be the rest of it. Excellent. So we'll get that nice and online. That'll be perfect. We still haven't managed to start this porter yard. Hopefully that gets done soon enough. This road here does not need to be halted. Let's go ahead and allow that. Wonderful. So, crowding in homes is becoming a problem. This isn't terribly surprising. We need to build more homes, and we can get this one going as soon as we've got some clay. We do have workers in our clay pit, so we are now producing clay. That looks good. This clay isn't quite reaching this porter yard, but I think that they'll get there anyway, so that shouldn't be a big issue. So now that we have this clay pit going and this porter yard started, I'd love to see these sawyers down here finish up. That's finishing the sawyers and this second clay pit, I think, is kind of the highest priority right now. I'm getting very close to wanting to dig these canals, though. That's definitely getting close. Okay. Yeah, we're not quite to that point yet, but we're getting there. And we'll get these farms online very soon as well. Getting this well dipper built would be great, but I want to see... Oh, what are we doing here? We're building this porter yard. Okay, so we just need the stone up here now, and it should be deliverable from this porter yard. So let's get that stone up there and get this porter yard built. Once that's done, a significant difference will happen here. So it's interesting that the floodplains actually bring full irrigation as well. That makes sense that it would be implemented in that regard. So that's neat. We did manage to build this dirt ramp down over here. Okay, that's cool. We should probably not be delaying these side roads at this point, especially considering these are not connected to the road. So we'll do something like that, and we'll get that underway. Cool. So that seems fine. I don't think we'll need more Megui than this is my guess right now, but we have a lot of things that we still need to get built to get started here, right? So we have this fortress, and there's no nobles here. We're going to want to set up a noble district at some point. Poor nutrition is becoming a problem. Okay. And we can see that the river has flooded again. That's normal. So fertility is excellent, and irrigation is good. Floodplains are really, really good for this. And then no irrigation down here. Yeah, that's to be expected. We'll run the canals. That's absolutely still going to happen. Even with the floodplains, I would rather have the canals be built and have permanent irrigation. So that'll be absolutely wonderful. And with our farms starting to come online, the question is, how are we doing on food? We have no maize in this market, and we have 40 maize in this market. So we do have some maize here. Looks like we got an additional import of maize. That might have already been en route. So that's absolutely fine. I'm wondering if right now we can queue up the Chinampas here. No, okay. They would have to be bordering land, right? So these Chinampas would have to be finished. That's okay. Not terribly concerned about that. So this is all looking good for now. And I do want to get these canals built fairly soon, but I keep hoping that we're going to see timber start to flow in over this way and get these sawyers built. We really need to be relying on more than just this sawyer. That's the core issue that we have right now, I think, is lack of timber. Yes, lack of clay is a bit of an issue, and we'll continue to develop our clay production. But for now, this will have to do. I also just realized if we Chinampa all of this, then these clay pits are not going to be in range of swamp anymore, are they? No, they will, because these dirt roads are over swamp. Okay, that's fine then. No problem. The clay pits should still be in range of swamp. They have to be within 3 tiles. So that should be absolutely fine. No issue there. Well, when do we think we're going to actually get around to building these sawyers? We mostly need to get clay down this way. We'll have this be set to balance clay. We don't need too much of it down over here, but I would definitely like to get some clay down here so that we can get these sawyers online. That would be great. We're short of common workers. Sure, I'm not terribly shocked about that. 6 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Okay. So more housing is absolutely going to be a useful thing. Let's take a road. Maybe... Well, we know that this is going to be that size. So let's put some common homes here. 1, 2, 3, and not there. 4. We're going to be a bit short on clay for some of this, and I don't necessarily want to do this immediately. I just realized this home doesn't have a road going to it. We'll have to put in a, like, almost driveway. It's a little awkward. But I guess it's fine. Okay, I don't actually want to build this yet, though, because that is a significant amount of clay. And we do produce clay. We, in fact, have our second clay pit online now. Ah, this Sawyer is now built. That's a huge deal. We're still waiting on timber down over here. This is on accepts. We could have it be on something else, but now that this Sawyer is online, this will be good. I'm content with that. So we're no longer just reliant on this Sawyer. And I would like to put in perhaps another Sawyer over on this side. I think we've got enough trees to do that. So 2 Sawyers here, 2 Sawyers here. That seems good. I do want to start building these homes, and I want to start building... We can't unpause that because that requires a scenic neighborhood. Okay, that's interesting. It previously had a scenic neighborhood, but it no longer does. So we're going to need to find a new home for the dentist. What's considered scenic? This is considered scenic out here. Okay. Can we get anything up over here? No. Ah, this would work. Sure. We'll get that going. And I just want to unpause all of these services over here now, as well as some of these services up over this direction. This is back to wanting a scenic neighborhood as well, so we'll just take that out of there, and we'll find another home for the dentist up over here, presumably. What else do we have? They don't consider this to be particularly scenic with what we've got going on right now. For the moment, we may need to put a different dentist in later. I wonder if we could cheese it by putting a single tile of stone road here and then putting in a dentist right here. That's not considered scenic enough. Okay. What about 2 segments of stone road? Also, what's this causeway? They can be built across swamps or shallow water. Ah, okay. It's basically like a stone bridge. Gotcha. Stone canals, huh? That's interesting. They allow irrigation out to 4 tiles. That kind of breaks things, though. I guess it allows more flexibility in how you design your farms. Interesting. So we could definitely do that, but I'm not going to do that yet. What we're mostly interested in here, of course, is getting our dentist up over here. So let's see about the dentist up here. Still not accepting of this right now. So I'm going to take that out of there. And we'll just have to find another home for the dentist later. I would like to get these chinampas going so we can get those done whenever. That seems fine. And I'd also really like to get these canals done. Now, the canals might be damaged from the flooding, but I would like to get that underway. So at this point, we're mostly waiting on, well, a lot of things. But it's mostly going to be resources. We need to get our resource production up. That's for sure. So I'm just thinking here about the positioning of our clay pits. With these dirt roads being over swamp, which I believe that they are, that should be fine for our clay pits. I think. And the canals revert to swamp. So we can always make additional swamp if we need to. We can just put a canal somewhere and then delete it, and that'll become a swamp. So that should be reasonably fine. Okay, I want to check in on the status of our granary here. There's no food in the granary right now. There's no food in this small market, and this large market is holding at 39 out of 40 maize. So that's understood. We clearly need to get more food underway here, but we'll get there. So this is definitely proceeding nicely. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to continue to work through this early game resource deficit, but we'll be through that pretty soon. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.